We're live. And we're starting to record. All right, listeners. It's Draft Bust episode 21. We are live on YouTube. We successfully got someone to tweet us back finally. Right, Nick? What are you drinking on tonight?
Yeah, what's up? What's up? Yeehaw Brewing out of Kingsport.
Are you
um,
are you drinking on which one are you drinking on? Is it the Pale Ale or
well, I've been drinking on the Pilsner, the 80. I am working on the Dunkel, and then I have the Pale Ale. Going balls to the wall.
So you're just going through a whole variety pack. I would say. Their pale ale is definitely my favorite. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So like last week we went through and we talked about what was it, 15 to 11. This week we're going to talk about 10 to 6. So we're working our way on down the list. And then once our list is over, which some people may want it to already be over, we're going to start doing some fantasy advice. I know I've started working on a FF Draft Bus cheat sheet. If anyone ever cared or wanted to see such a thing, you may want to use. I tend to.
Big money.
I don't know if it's really a cheat sheet though.
It's a loser sheet.
Yeah.
I will say
6 sheet.
I will say it is all original. So like none of the, as far as mine goes, none of the rankings have come from any website. It's literally stats and weightings, and I went all problem solving mode. Word
It's how
problem
his
solving.
bowel movements going that day when he's putting this list together and when he's sitting on the toilet.
We all would. I think we'd all like to say happy birthday to America, and
Oh yeah.
Nick is glad that she didn't lose any more fingers.
Stay woke.
Didn't Swaggy P almost lose some though?
Yeah, the fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Even
the
Iggy.
I'm the dumb.
What
He
was
went
that?
crazy.
What was that joke about his homeboy was there recording it though? The dude that got him in trouble that first time.
Yeah. He recorded him cheating on his woman and then recorded him doing something fucking stupid.
I don't even understand that. So, a big news from last week before we get into our rankings and kind of go through them. Andrew Luck got a monster deal. What, like 123 million, 87 guaranteed, average yearly salary of right about $24.5 million. That's a bit much. I know, like looking at the contract, it's not necessarily backloaded, but it is. So, like 2019, his salary's 27 and a half. 2020, his salary's 28 and a half, and he has a roster signing bonus that goes from $6 to $12 million, and then he has a $6.5 million signing bonus every year, but the last year.
Man, that
That's
really
chump change.
it really
Chump change.
bothers me how they do this. Like they just keep paying these players more and more and more, and they keep digging themselves into holes. And so, like, for us, we have Khalil Mack and Derek Carr on our team. So when they're going to get paid, like, what are we going to have to pay them? Like something around that, if not more, just to keep them. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, that's just how it is, man. Look at the NBA's free agency right now.
NBA stupid.
Timothy Mozgov got $60+ million.
Yeah, but I think the big thing, and Nick, you and I talked about this, is NBA, like, one, you have a small roster size,
Right.
and they have a huge TV revenue.
Huge.
For their
Huge.
teams, and I mean they're not paying a lot of people. They're just not paying a lot of people. So of course they have more money to go around, and not only that, but their player association guarantees the players a bigger cut of the pie, versus NFL not necessarily gets that. And then of course you're paying a lot more people. What, 65-man rosters versus 10 people?
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of talking about that today. Their CBA, I think, has their revenue split like 49 for the players, 51 for the owners, something ridiculous. And The NFL is like completely swayed where the owners get to keep everything in a small chunk. I think the average NFL player only gets paid like $2.5 million over their career, which is absolutely nuts for literally them getting into a car wreck every time they get hit. So I don't know. It's just it's interesting that you see NFL players saying, "What the hell? Why are they getting paid this much money? I don't even know who the hell that is."
Yeah.
So
it is crazy. And then, I don't think the Andrew Luck deal was a good deal because it's inflating everything. And Wilson, your point, this Von Miller deal that might happen in the next 10 days, Khalil Mack might have to get paid a lot when he gets re-signed as well.
I mean, think
years.
about it. We got Derek and Khalil, and then they have other young dudes on there. So like, you're going to lose so much talent, homegrown talent in free agency because you can't keep paying this top talent, these ridiculous contracts. And I just it really irks the shit out of me. I mean, like, and look at the Colts. Like, they don't have nothing around him other than T.Y. Hilton. They have no run game. They drafted 4 dudes for the offensive line this year. So like they have no veteran, I feel no good veteran talent on that team anywhere. It's all old, super old, like Frank Gore's still on there. Who else? That defense just is abysmal outside of Davis back on the back end. So they just dug themselves in an even bigger hole. Like, do you not think they could have got Andrew Luck for a little bit cheaper than that?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Just think, if he went to the free agent market, there's no way he wasn't going to get under 100 guaranteed.
I mean, like, don't you think that right now they could lock him down with like a Tom Brady type contract or something like that?
No,
it's a little bit less than what he's making now.
Why would his agent do that, knowing he's going to be a free agent next year?
I don't know.
Well,
like he could say,
I mean,
we're going to test.
They're trying to lock you down now before
Deuces.
he gets there. Yeah, but I mean, but you're mortgaging the rest of your team though, and I know it's so important to have a quarterback in the NFL, but like, you have to have pieces around that quarterback. You saw last year he got killed, man, and he had nobody helping him out. And
that's the Colts. That's the Colts' fault for fucking doing that.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with the Saints.
Yes, and
the smartest thing the Saints can do is get rid of Drew Brees. The smartest thing.
Part of it is the Colts are doing what they did with Peyton Manning, and they're trying to just replicate the same thing with Andrew Luck by like, okay, we'll get him. He'll make people better. I think the only difference is Peyton Manning typically had an offensive line or was smart enough not to take the hit. Andrew Luck is not smart enough not to take the hit yet.
He had Marvin Harrison, Edgar and James, and he had what's his name? Friggin'
Reggie Wayne.
Reggie Wayne,
two
Reggie Wayne.
all-time great wide receivers.
Yes.
Not including Jeff Saturday, a Hall of Fame center.
Yeah, like Peyton had a lot more around him than Luck does. Luck has nothing. He has T.Y. Hilton, and that is it.
Yes, you say. I mean, you can say that, but I feel part of it is would those people be Hall of Famers if Peyton Manning wasn't throwing to them? Like,
probably.
Probably.
I mean,
they'd be borderline.
At least Reggie Wayne.
That's Reggie Wayne. I would say Marvin Harrison is a little different story, and I don't think those. I mean, I just think he brought him up to a better level, and I think the biggest thing Peyton did that Luck does not know how to do is avoid the hit. Like he goes after it and gets just clobbered.
Yeah,
Right,
when he's slapping defensive line on the ass saying "nice hit," that's his own fucking fault. You're the face of the franchise. You cannot be doing that. Throw the ball away. Live to fight another day.
That's exactly it.
I think it's stupid. But if they didn't sign him for this much, there's no way they would have resigned him in the offseason. If he hit the open market,
you're probably right with that. But I have such a hard time just throwing in so much on one dude, like when he has nothing around him.
I honestly think it's so like I don't think they would have resigned him at all because what is Kirk Cousins' franchise tag at this year, and they still haven't been able to work out.
Yeah,
and they haven't worked out a deal for him. Andrew Luck, Kirk Cousins. Andrew Luck is definitely better than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but I feel like Kirk Cousins has more around him. Like if you could somehow lock Kirk Cousins into like a 20 mil a year, flirting around that with the talent he has around him right now, it's so much better than paying Andrew Luck what he's getting with no talent around him.
But
Man.
so Kirk Cousin right now, if he's seeing what Andrew Luck got paid, why would he sit around and say, I'm not going to go for under 25?
I know.
Because
I'm
I
just
know
saying
the
that
Browns are going to
this new
sign me for
contract.
25.
It's going to make quarterback contracts ridiculous. It's going to
That would-
suck.
It most certainly will. That's just like the thing. Like Brock Osweiler looks like a freaking steal, almost at 90 mil.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
you can get by with a mediocre quarterback.
I think that's what's going to
Pray to
happen
God.
more.
Pray to God Derek Carr has a mediocre year going into free agency. Khalil Mack gets 10 sacks and he's like, ugh, he's kind of cheap.
So I do want to make one point. What about Denard Robinson falling asleep at the wheel and his car being half submerged in a
Your
pond?
boy.
And it's going to be his year, Wilson.
He can't catch or drive. What?
Hell, he can run.
He was,
I'll give him
he was
that.
getting roadhead, and they went into that pond.
It said they were trying to wake him up, and he like couldn't wake up.
Yeah, they didn't breathalyze him or anything, did they? They were just like,
Well, they said he wasn't drunk. Like he wasn't.
He was fucked up on that Texas Sprite, that purple drink.
Do shine.
Yeah.
Do shine. So
Dirty Sprite.
Dirty Sprite. So we'll kick it in. Power rankings this week. We got number 10 through 6. I got the Vikings at 10, the Kansas City Chiefs at number 9, the Bengals at 8, Green Bay Packers at 7. And I hate to do it, Denver Broncos are at 6. What do you got, Wilson?
I have the Giants at 10, the Chiefs at 9, Green Bay's 8, Denver is 7, and Cincinnati is 6.
Nick?
I have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Donkeys, Minnesota Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals, and the New England Patriots.
All right. So let's just take a chance. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Nick, why do you have him down there at number 10?
I don't like Alex Smith. Simple as that. Alex Smith is a game manager, and an old Jamal Charles is coming off a knee injury. Jarkantrick Bliss kind of stepped in for him last year. Jeremy Maclin, I mean, he's still good, but that offense has to do something, and then like they're falling farther and farther behind while everybody is taking off. Every defense in that division now, except San Diego, is awesome. And I think they are one of the weaker teams in that division, but I still see them kind of being a wild card because they can beat people because of that defense. But especially in that defense, that's the reason why I have them at 10 ahead of the Broncos. I don't see them winning the West.
No, I don't have them win the West either. I mean, like they lost Justin Houston, didn't they? He's out, right?
I don't.
Yeah, wasn't he out last year?
I can't remember. I think he got hurt at the beginning of this year. They lost Sean Smith in free agency to Oakland. And, like, I don't care what anybody says. That was a big loss. Sean Smith, like, I think Sports Illustrated just ranked him, like, in the top 10 corners in the league or something like that. So, even though the rookie on the other side, who was it?
Peters.
Yeah. Peters got a lot of the attention is because they were throwing his way away from Sean Smith. And so I feel that they took a big hit there. They're getting older, but they're consistent. They really are consistent with what they do. I mean, like the pass game's not there, but they just find a way to run the ball down your throat. Even though Jamal Charles was out last year for a good chunk of the year,
Yeah,
they still got it done on the ground. And they have young running backs that they just re-signed, didn't they?
Yeah,
I
they
think
just
re-signed.
re-signed one. I think West, Jarkandrick West or whatever.
Yeah.
I hear Yeehaw beers going flying around in there. They
Yeehaw.
They re-signed Sharkhandrick West, and they got Spencer Ware. And that's the thing is like Jamal Charles got hurt. These two no-name guys came in, kind of shared the load a little bit, and some weeks one would take the lead. It was hot hand. Whoever had the hot hand was who was playing. And they tore it up. I mean, they did really good. Their weakest link is Alex Smith throwing 10 yards or short. That's all he ever does.
Yeah.
It shows it in their stats because they were 30th in passing last year. Ninth in points, though, and sixth in rush, and their defense was top 10 in every category. Third for points scored. I mean, they picked Peyton off, four times?
4 times.
In a game in which Peyton completed 5 passes and threw 4 interceptions.
I thought it was 1 and completed 4. I don't know. He got yanked from that game. It made me happy.
He got pulled. And I thought it might be statistically the worst game a quarterback had ever had, and it would have been his last game maybe. But the big thing is that defense. Like, somehow they've been able to get these people in here, and relatively some that you've never heard of. They performed well and just come out and go, and they have comeback player of the year last year, a man who survived cancer, Eric Berry.
I met him.
Who I think is great. Nick has
cool
met
guy.
him. Yeah. And then they have Poe that plugs up that front line
Yeah, and then Tamba Ali, who's a beast.
on the defensive side. Yeah, Tom Ali. And then they have that relatively other young
They just drafted. Was their first pick a defensive lineman? I might be wrong on that one. I'm sorry.
yeah, it was Chris Jones.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
So I mean, they're just still adding
I
to
think
it.
that makes them. They drafted well. They drafted Kevin Hogan too. So I mean,
I
he
don't know
might
how
be
that'll
able to
work.
step in eventually. I know I said might be able to.
Yeah.
Hey, Wilson.
Yeah.
You know we're on video, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
He doesn't know what he's doing, man. The guy can't see. He can't see, Nick.
He's like,
Making fun of a man's handicaps, why don't you?
I'm just as blind as he is. So
You
I
don't
would
have
choose
glasses
to wear
on right now.
contacts tonight.
You don't have glasses
Because I
on.
have fake glasses.
Sorry, everybody. My eye was itching terribly.
You were minimized anyway. Wilson and I both had the Chiefs at number 9, and I think the point is that yeah, they're up here. They're top 10 team in the league. They don't have the quarterback to be top 5.
I put them up there honestly because they're just consistent. Like it always seems like they're tough. You know, even though they can't throw the ball, they have a pretty stout defense, and they're just a safer pick than say putting Oakland up there or somebody else like that in the AFC West.
And I mean, to be honest, they don't have the worst schedule because the AFC West plays the NFC South. So, I mean, you're going to get the Titans at least once. Depending on how you do with Jags and depending on how the Houston show up, like we've talked about all year. I mean, they play Indy. They play Tampa.
Yeah, I disagree. I think they do have kind of a tough schedule for teams coming up because the Chargers, if everybody's healthy, then the Chargers offense is really potent. And then Houston's on the up. Jags are on the up.
But see, the thing is, Houston, they play second week of the year. I don't think Houston's going to be there then. I think they're going to come along later in the year when they've all gelled a little bit more.
You don't think that defense is, though? J.J. Watt's going to be ready.
I think J.D. Watt's going to be ready, but if Kansas City is still as good at the run game as they have been in the past, that's not going to matter as much.
We'll have to see.
I don't know. You guys remember that awesome game that they had between the Chargers last year at Arrowhead, right? Where Philip Rivers lost them the game right at the end. Well, didn't even really lose it. He was just fighting a comeback and
yeah, wasn't that
slipped and fell, was in the mud. It was like that 6-9 game.
Yeah, that was the towards the end of the season. I think it was 10-3 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're always in close games, and I mean that's what we were talking about with the Chargers is that you don't remember them like getting blown out. I mean, I think we said they didn't lose a game by over 7, and the AFC West is now becoming like that whole NFC West was a few years ago, where you had the Cardinals, San Francisco, where the worst team was the Rams at 8-8. So
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, their schedule last year, their worst loss was only 10 points, and it was to Green Bay, third week of the year. The rest of that, it was 7 points or less. It was a touchdown or less. They were in it the entire time, or they blew people out. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
they're just one of those teams. I think they're going to make the playoffs. And I mean, I can have them a little bit higher, but I just don't have them in front of the Broncos because I don't think they're going to win the West.
so there's the thing. So, Nick, you got the Broncos at number 9, a little bit higher up. Wilson's got them at 7. I've got them at 6. Hurts my feelings. I'm wearing a Britton Colquitt jersey right now. And
Who?
the Jesus is right here on the wall.
Who?
Jesus.
What jersey are you wearing?
Britton Colquitt.
Andy, can you kick your leg above your shoulder?
Britton Colquitt. I don't even think I could. I could barely put my arm above my shoulder.
I want to get a video of you putting a football.
Hey, we'll do it. We'll have we'll have a Travis video of me putting a football. Nick, you got him at number 9.
Going 10 yards.
It'll probably come hit me in the face. Like I'll toe it so weird, and it'll just come back and break my nose. I'll look like the Seattle Seahawks punter. But Nick, you have the Broncos at number 9. So I assume this is who you think will win the West,
Yes.
or be at least second place, depending on how everything falls out.
So, I mean, I have the Broncos, Chiefs, and Raiders within like 4 picks of each other because I think the West is up for grabs this year. I think the biggest thing the Broncos fucked up on is letting Brock go. I understand. If I was him,
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean,
I think them pulling him out of that game to put Peyton Manning in was the biggest fuck you, and he's like, I'm fucking out of here because he knew he was going to get paid somewhere. And they replaced him with Mark Sanchez, the whole butt fumble. I mean that.
Maybe not yet.
Mark Sanchez he's always been a game manager. That defense is still so potent, but I think unless, like we talked about earlier, if they can't get Von Miller under some sort of contract by the 15th, I think he's going to be a fucking cancer for that defense. Like, fuck it, I'm getting straight paid. Why play hard?
I mean, I don't know. I think Von Miller, like, they need to re-sign him. They lost a few people in defense. I think Danny Trevathan's going to have a bigger hole than people see. I mean, I have it number 6. 6 is it hurts to put him there, but they honestly can't be any higher after losing the quarterbacks. Like, they lost Peyton, which great play caller. He did not have the physical abilities to do a lot of plays. Brock had that, but they never let him have the reins. It kept pulling the guy. I remember the video where Peyton talked the coaches into letting him continue to play in a game instead of Brock coming in and playing the fourth quarter. I was like,
yeah,
never
like
coming
you see
back.
Brock put his helmet on and Peyton run by him and he just shakes his head.
Yeah, and I
I
was
mean,
like,
why would he want to play there?
you have no faith in the guy, and then you pull him the last week of the year when he wasn't doing terrible, but of course he wasn't driving, he wasn't, doing the keys of the game, and they want to bring some life into it. But you pull the guy, and there's no way he's going to come back. Yeah, he's like, you have zero faith in me. I'm not staying here. I'm not coming back here. But like Vaughn, if he doesn't get signed by July 10th or something like that?
It's the 15th.
The 15th. It's
when you get signed franchise tags.
I think if he doesn't get signed by the 15th, they're right on the edge of the top 10. Like they go from 6 to 10. And then might even fall till they might even fall to like a wild card spot because he's kind of like that pivotal player on that defense. And they lost Danny Trevathan. If they lose Vaughn, if he sets out the year, whatever it may be, or he has some power struggle about it, because John Elway, you know what this is. He's doing a power struggle and he's trying to get the salary in which he wants. They're going to be able to score more, I think, but.
Like the Colts should have done with Andrew Luck. You know what? You can't risk the franchise for one player. like, you know what? There's going to be another Von Miller coming up, just like Noah Spence, who was just stupid as shit and smoked some weed. you could sign him. I understand Von Miller's great. But that secondary is the key to that defense. I mean, Chris Harris Jr. and Akeem Talib are awesome. I mean, that's two of the top 10
They're
cornerbacks.
nothing without Von Miller, though. Von Miller helps them out.
Von Miller is a killer on the pressure. So getting the quarterback pressure, things of that nature. DeMarcus Ware can't play every game like he has. Like last year, he was in and out. He played a point. He had a reason to be in there, but he missed middle of the season, part of that stuff.
Because he's old.
I do say Von Miller's
Shane
it.
Ray and Wolf aren't the answer either.
Wolf is the best defensive lineman we have now, in my opinion.
But I mean, like, if Vaughn was to set out, then their production will not equal up to anything like his will.
No, yeah, that's exactly it.
There's no way he's going to sit out. No fucking.
No, I don't think he's going to sit out either. But
I mean, they got to sign him by the 15th.
And not give 110%.
I think if he signs and he gets a franchise tag, he will play out of his mind because he's going to get someone will pay him. Like he said he wants to be a Bronco for life.
But they can franchise tag him next year, and we're in the
Elway
same
ain't going to
thing.
give him the money he wants, man. He's not going to be with the Broncos unless Elway caves. And Elway's a douche. You know he is. So he
is. It's power struggle. That's really what it is.
No, but you know what? Elway's he's a great fucking GM. Like, I mean, he literally has built that team great.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, Andy, I think them losing Danny Trevathan, people don't realize how big of a loss that is for them.
Oh, it's huge.
No,
And so is Malik Jackson. Like, for what he did in the middle of the defense, I mean, that's a big loss.
Yeah, but I think Malik Jackson was the most replaceable person on that defense by far.
Of the people that hit free agency?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I don't know,
would you rather
crazy.
have Wolf or Malik?
Probably Wolf.
Yeah,
Wolf's getting
didn't
better.
Play that bad last year.
Yeah, he came off a terrible year and played really well last year. Like almost died 2 years ago or something like that because they were going to the playoff game and he had like some thing and they had to delay it and take him to the hospital. Hey,
how do you feel about Paxton Lynch?
He's not going to start first couple games of the year. I honestly think it's going to be Mark Sanchez.
Over under week 8.5. Him starting.
Yeah, he'll start by
When's
week 8.
Their bye week?
He'll start by week 8 for sure.
When's their
You know
bye
what's
week?
going to happen? They're going to wait until it's starting to look down and they need a push, like they need some spark, and they're going to throw him in because Sanchez is not going to get the job done.
Week 11 is their bye week. Hey, let's give a shout out. Old Yeehaw Brewing Company is talking to us on YouTube. So just so everybody know, we're live on YouTube this week. They said he beat the Pats. They're talking about Brock Osweiler beat the Pats.
Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, you guys are.
So, all right,
they're
you guys
awesome.
know who talked to me about this, right? Is Kyle's wife, Emily, is from Kingsport, and he goes up there from where they are, and he drinks their beer all the time because they're everywhere up there because that's where they're from. So, shout out to the old Bush League bringing it in. And when I went and played golf with him, he had 2 of these, and I was like, "Hey, let me try everything they have."
There you go. Get a little bit of all.
Hey, y'all should send us free swag, man.
No, I do think it's cool. I mean, whenever their beer's out and about, like the Pale Ale, I love Pale Ales, and they have a really good Pale Ale, and they're honestly beating out old Chattanooga Brewery right now. They're Pale Ale by far.
That place.
I know, right? Nick and I went there on Saturday, and it was the worst experience I've ever had there.
3 fucking hours.
The Chattanooga Brewery.
What happened?
So we showed up for the soccer game, and we showed up at 6.
Hmm.
We missed the entire first half of the soccer game. It started at 7:30.
Yeah, we left at like 8:45, and that was like so. Order like Nick and Abby ordered their food. Hell, we ordered pretzels. Didn't get pretzels till 7.
We ordered pretzels, a BLT, chicken fingers.
And you know what's terrible is like, so that means you were legitimately there like an hour and a half, if not longer, because that field is directly across the street
We fucking sat outside.
And, well, yeah, we
saw
watched
the game.
we watched the first half from outside, and we're like, "Oh, they scored! Yay!" Where's my BLT? Like,
Oh,
we were just waiting.
well, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah,
We
they
really
say
appreciate it.
Dunkel is the jam. Nick, what'd you think?
Oh, it was pretty good.
What's
The
your favorite
Pilsner was
one?
good too. So far the pale ale. I'm a big pale ale guy. I really think it's better than Yazoo's.
They're Pale
I'll tell you
Ale.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I mean, they've kind of went really big around Chattanooga here lately, so I know every time I see it out and about, I get one for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, like I said, Nick, week 8-ish, their bye week's 11. I think Paxton Lynch does start at some point, halfway through the year at least. I mean, they play Carolina, Indy, Cincy, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, San Diego, Houston, and then San Diego again at week 8. That's the first 8 games. So I think
So I
Paxton's,
mean, I don't see them beating Carolina. I think Carolina's going to come out amped up because I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's the first game of the fucking year, Thursday night.
they're
I'm off that weekend.
yeah, they're I'm a little worried about it to say the least because Vaughn hasn't been in any of this stuff because the whole contract crap. Granted, he's probably been working out, but that quarterback situation, I just don't know. Like I don't think
That's the
it's
reason why they're
going
not
to
in my
go
top
Varsity.
5.
I don't think it's going to be like awful, but it's like no team does well when you have no idea who your quarterback is. Like when you're just looking at this carousel and it's like, oh, it could be any of these 3. The guy tried to form a union at Northwestern, Trevor Simon or whatever. The guy that's famous for butt fumble and ordering food on the sidelines while he's like playing in a game, or Paxton Lynch, the guy that has that weird mustache. It's just like
Hey,
who?
I
And
saw
then-
him graduate from college. Good for
You
him.
were, yeah. Your
Shout out Memphis.
your sister-in-law or whatever was getting out. So, man, we talked about the Broncos a while. The last team we're gonna talk about tonight is the old Cincinnati Bengals. I got them at 8. Nick's got them at 7. Wilson's got them at 6. Wilson, why do you have them so high?
Last year, dude, they were like one dumb penalty away from making a run, even with what's his nuts back at quarterback McCarron. So like they lost who they lose in free agency. They lost that safety that went to Oakland, Reggie Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson.
They have
Didn't they
young
lose
safety
Gresham?
back. I'm sorry, what?
Jermaine Gresham, didn't he leave?
He's been gone for a while though, I believe.
They
So
lost
you know, they have
somebody.
Eifert.
They lost somebody else too. Hey, so right now, Yeehaw Brewing wants to know if we have met Sam. I assume that's their rep around here. I mean, I haven't. They need to.
Send him his contact information.
Yeah,
We'll
if you
meet him.
tweet us and tell us what bar he's going to be at next doing some gig, we'll definitely show up. Hell, we might even try to be able to do a live cast from there. Nick and I, at least. So Wilson, didn't they lose somebody else though? I know they cut AJ Hawk.
They lost
The new and
They
Jones.
lost the new. Yeah.
They lost the
Yeah,
and
new.
Marvin Jones.
But they
Um,
added Tyler Boyd, so he's going to fill that void. I think they're going to be okay. Eifert was a red zone machine last year. He had 13 touchdowns. I think that they drafted well too.
They drafted really well, just to be honest.
The two good defensive picks to me, they added William Jackson III, I believe, in the first, and then they added Andrew Billings in the fourth, which to me was a steal in the fourth round because I saw some mocks where he was going a little bit earlier than that. So
Our mock, I had him going in the first.
yeah,
Like
so-
Andrew Billings from like La Tech.
No, that's not Andrew Billings.
from
That's Noah
Baylor.
Spence. No, it's not.
Oh,
Noah
okay.
Spence. It's the big guy from Baylor. Noah
Yeah.
Spence went to Eastern Kentucky.
But their rush defense was 7th overall last year when it pertains to yards. Passing, they were 20th, so they could have gotten a little better there. I think that's why they added William Jackson III. You know, Pac-Man's a little older, and then Ray Maluga, or however you pronounce his name. I don't know if I botched that or not, but he's all over the place. He's insane. I just feel really good about him. I mean, I would have liked to have seen what Dalton could have done in the playoffs, though. But he got hurt, so.
I mean, you've seen what
it sucks he got hurt too.
Yeah.
You've seen what he's done in playoffs in the years past, though. That's the thing. Is like,
but I mean, like they looked good last year. They really did. Eifert emerged. He got another weapon. The running game was steady. Granted, friggin' what's his name screwed up. Jeremy Hill screwed up every single
Jeremy Hill
fantasy football team I had because I drafted him in like every single league.
Yeah, I just fear that they're not going to replace Jones and Sanu. I mean, again, they got Tyler Boyd, so that's a good thing. They got Boyd
in the second, and he's a good second round pick. So
yeah,
I think he can feel what they left out. Jones did have a stretch there last year where he was fantasy
gold.
Yeah, so I will admit that, but I feel that. They got AJ Green. They're going to be okay. They got Eifert. As long as he's healthy, they're going to be fine. So
I mean, Brandon Tate, Brandon LaFell. I mean, those are some of the ones they still have. Again, like I have them at number 8. I think they're good. I don't know how Andy Dalton's going to really be in the playoffs. I know he did better down the stretch last year than he has in the past.
Well, let's not worry about the playoffs right now. Let's just
So the big thing, they lost Nelson. They replaced him with William Jackson III, which I think that's really good. I think Vince Burflick and Pac-Man Jones, because he's still there, right?
Pac-Man, yeah.
Yeah, that's their 2 weakest link because they're hotheads. They don't know what they're going to do. And I like in the playoffs, it hurt them. But Ray Mauga.
Vontez's penalty lost them that game.
Yeah.
No, it did.
Antonio Brown
field goal.
lost them that game.
What was the other linebacker they signed?
So good.
They signed a linebacker this offseason.
Was it AJ Hawk?
No, they cut him.
They do a lot of they are a very they've done the right things.
Yeah.
I can't believe Marvin Jones still has a job.
I know, right?
He just holds on to it.
He keeps getting them there though. Like, I mean, okay,
then he saves it. Nobody.
Exactly, because he keeps getting them there. Like, they just need to figure out what's that next step they need to take. Because, I mean, this is what you could do. If you fire him, you hope that one of the other coaches in the NFL with that's pretty decent also got fired. Or you get somebody from college and you have no idea what you're going to get with that. So they're getting consistency. They're getting there. They just got to get over that hump.
Yeah, they.
Do you think them losing Hugh Jackson's going to do anything?
I do not know.
I don't. I think it might make them better on offense. Maybe, I don't know.
No, Hugh Jackson he's pretty good when it comes to offense.
But Carlos Dansby is who they signed. Backer-wise.
He's pretty old.
Yeah, so I mean, their linebackers are pretty. I mean, stacked. Like you're talking about Ray Mauga. Yeah, whatever. I think he's. I don't know, right? I have phonics problems. I'm surprised I can even say my name. Like when my wife wrote down names for like our daughter, because we're naming our kid or like that. She wrote down like 40 names, and I'd be like, "Hey, how do you say this one?" And she'd say it. I go, "Nope, won't be able to pronounce it." Just wrote it off the list. I was like, "Nope," because I can't do any of that shit. But I think Ray.
The muggy phonics.
Wilson, how you say the last name? Ray what?
Mauga.
I think he's like a hidden gem on there. People don't give him the credit he deserves because he's so small.
I think the people that know football give him credit. It's that he's not a big name brand. He's not flashy, but he's a good player. And
I think he's like Danny Trevathan. Like he's all over the field. Yeah, he's one of those guys that is just going to side to side, run all over the place, and make whatever tackle he has to, and not be dumb about it. Like not be Burflick about it. Like just not be.
Hit somebody.
Not take somebody's fucking head off. Like it's
wasn't Mauga him and Brian Cushing in the same linebacker core at USC?
There was who all was in that linebacker core? That's a good trivia question. There was like a lot of them, weren't there?
Yeah, it's funny. Like,
when would they graduate?
After Reggie.
It was Clay. Was Clay Matthews there? Or was he after?
Yeah, Clay Matthews. It was Clay Matthews, Cushing and Malaluga. That was that like linebacker, like, and they're all studs.
Really?
Man, USC's put out some good linebackers. Like they had Malcolm Smith, who was the Super Bowl MVP, wasn't he? What didn't Malcolm Smith go there?
Yeah,
Is that
Malcolm
totally
Smith
wrong?
went
Did I make that up?
That's a fake stat. Sounds
Hey,
good though.
Hey, Malcolm Smith went there at least. I just see it. I'm looking at 2008 USC.
I might be wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, after
Norton Jr. was
after
there.
that whole awesome offense,
Yeah.
like the defense just started coming up. I mean, Troy Polamalu went there.
Yeah.
Like their defense has actually been pretty good.
They had a drunk as a coach, like what, a year or two ago? That was
Yeah.
good.
Sarkisian.
Lay off the sauce.
He was
Um,
fucked up in that like press conference.
Yeah, did he went on some tangent in some like alumni or fundraising event, didn't he? Some booster event or something. He did something ridiculous, I remember. But
So, I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything else to add about Bengals.
I think the Bengals are that team that everybody's waiting for them to take that next step.
yeah.
And they have it's getting limited and limited and limited. I mean, they're in the division. Andy Dalton is in there with Big Ben, Joe Flacco, where it's like he has a chance to take over and just waffle stomp them down the drain. So
I think as long as Big Ben's in the league, he's going to be the number one in that division, though. Like I don't think that Dalton will ever surpass him until he retires.
I think getting hurt is what Big Ben. I think over like last 2 years he's missed 8 games.
Dude, but like he can.
Ben Roethlisberger's so good, man.
Yeah, he's great.
Like he had like a broken ankle and he came out and whooped ass. Like that team built around Big Ben is exactly what every NFL team needs to copy.
They've really got everybody around him. Big Ben has played 4 games, played in 20.
It's 2 seasons.
Yeah, 32.
All right. I just want to throw out my reason why I have the Patriots in this is because without Tom Brady, they're still going to make the playoffs, but they're not top 5 team because I think they'll lose 2 out of the 4 games he's suspended for.
You're probably right, man, but there's just that thing when Tom Brady was out, they had Castle, and they were still just whooping ass. I mean, like, granted, it was a totally different
back,
but they have Martellus, they have Gronk, they have Edelman, they have Hogan from
Amendola?
Buffalo. Yeah.
Yep.
So they have all the, and then who was the running back? Lewis.
They still got LeGarrette Blount. Dion Lewis has come back from his knee injury.
So I think that offense is catered to the, short passes, dink dunk, make good reads. And I think that Belichick will put whatever quarterback he has back there in a good position to make good plays. So,
what about them losing Chandler Jones?
I don't know, man. They're
gonna make something work. It's just Bill Belichick.
I mean,
always.
It's funny,
somehow.
like that defense has never had like a superstar on it.
Not since Bruschi and Vrabel.
They had Cromartie, didn't they?
They had Revis. Didn't they have
Revis.
They had Talib that one year.
Yeah, but he wasn't really crazy good yet. But they had Ty Law that retired and came back like 35 times for him. I will say, Nick, you're talking about the 4 games next year. They play some good teams. Arizona week 1.
Doom lost.
Miami week 2.
Miami beats them at least once every year.
If it's in Miami, they'll lose.
I don't know. It's not Miami.
Remember fucking like 4 years ago, Wes Welker had that like 99-yard reception in Miami?
No.
Slightly.
No, but it literally they fucking always lose to Miami. I don't know what it is about Miami. They always lose to them.
Division rival stuff. It's like the Raiders beating the Broncos last year. Like really, could you ever have seen them beating them in Mile High?
Not
last year?
after having negative 5 yards at halftime.
Yeah. I remember I was
No.
out eating at a pub somewhere, and I saw like the stats and everything, and I was like, I'm just going home. I'm so pissed off.
I saw the shit and I was
so
like,
mad.
I saw the shit and I was like, oh god, they might still lose this. It's what I was thinking. I was like, fuck. Week 3 they play Houston, and week 4 they play Buffalo. So
Yeah,
yes,
like you
I
guys
think-
know, there's a small spot in this thing right here for Tom Brady. Like if Tom Brady ever became a Raider, my
Oh,
dick
man.
would explode.
Yeah.
Like it would
I'd
explode.
buy a Brady Raiders jersey that day.
but most certainly, like of those 4 teams, Arizona is, if Brady's not there, Arizona is a guaranteed loss.
And even Buffalo, man, Buffalo's on the edge of doing well. I just don't like Rex Ryan.
I think Belichick's got Rex Ryan figured out, man. I think he does. He just
Didn't they play him really tough though last year?
yeah, but I mean they still won. I mean, did they win both games last year, Andy? Do you know? Do you have anything pulled
Look
up?
that up. You got like a beer.
New England last.
Yeah.
What
Um,
else? Did we already talk about the Vikings?
yeah, we talked about them last week.
A little bit last week.
Am
I
I the
think the
only
big
one
thing-
that had this one?
No, I had them at number 10, exactly. I think the big thing is Wilson and I both have the Packers. I think I'm not really. Yeah, I think you have them next. But Patriots beat
Sir.
the Bills 40-30. Not that crazy.
The fact that the Bills scored 32 points in the game is crazy.
It was week 2.
That is. Wasn't that like? Didn't Tyrod have a good throwing? Like he was passing really well that day or something.
Man, Tyrod had some great fantasy games last year.
He did.
Yeah, I mean it was all his stuff was. Tyrod had 242 for 3 touchdowns, 30 attempts.
They were feeling good, right? They just come off a huge win over Indianapolis.
What did
talking about the most
what did little
raucous
Sammy
atmosphere
Watkins
in the
do?
history of Ralph Wilson Stadium this
Came up to when I was. For the most part, I mean, I think that's it for this. I want to give a shout out to y'all Brewing again. They were talking to us on YouTube Live, just letting you guys know. Go out there and check it out. We try to tweet at least the link to the live, and of course, Nick's showing the beer bottle right there. Of course, check out our website ffdraftbus.com. Post the soundbite of this there, along with on SoundCloud, and then of course you can watch this on YouTube Live and see wonderful facial expressions. Wilson cleaning his eyes.
I'll
iTunes.
scratch mine.
Oh yeah, we are on
Right.
iTunes now, and Google Play. So just look for Draft Bus Podcast, and it's called Weekly Football Insight. The name is still under development. We might change that a little bit, but hey, definitely look for Draft Bust. We'll be on there. Next week we're going to finish out our power rankings in 5 through 1. People can kind of make some see who's left. But after that, we're going to go deep into fantasy and start talking about some power rankings as far as positions go, who's best, who's hot, maybe some rookies that we look out for. And then do keep out for Draft Bus cheat sheet that will be posting out. And of course, we'll tweet.
Should we send Yeehaw some koozies?
Yeah, we can.
I think it'll be good.
Idea. I mean, I have some.
I mean, I have a whole bag in this room. I don't know where they are, but I know I at least have 10.
Yeah, definitely. That's really it for this week.
Nope. Just thanks for participating with us tonight, guys, and please come back.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yep,
Deuces.
post some funny pictures. Have a good week.
Stay woke.